Hi guys!
Hey.
I'm so proud of myself. Look at this.
Oh, you did it.
I did it!
That's
And look at what we
nice.
did. Look at what was this.
It's okay, it's the last one and you managed to do it.
Welcome to
Yeah.
SOT-SOT Talk, everyone. Episode 3, the finale episode for our Aphasia Awareness Month series of IG Live. Thank you for joining in.
Welcome,
Yes.
welcome.
Welcome. Hi. Hello,
Hi, everyone.
everyone. See, I'm so proud of myself because I managed to do mirror image writing. This is the actual writing, but it looks mirror image, like, you know, aphasic writing, right? But this is mirror image characters. Yay!
How long did it take for you to do that?
Oh, it's very fast. Now I'm not an expert at mirror writing.
Very good.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining SOT-SOT Talk, where OTs and STs have conversations.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Evelyn. I'm a speech and language therapist. I'm also the founder of Aphasia SG. And we're very lucky to have friends with us today. Introduce yourself, guys.
Hi, my name is Sijie. I'm an occupational therapist, one of the person behind Innovative OTs.
And my name is John, occupational therapist too, and I'm the other face behind Innovative OTs. Yeah.
Yeah. Innovative OTs are very innovative. And we're so fortunate to have them collaborate with us for Aphasia Awareness Month, where we really want to bring awareness to the condition, public awareness, and really just spread the word about this invisible condition. So the purpose of SOT-SOT Talk really is to share clinical knowledge. And we want to do a shout out because this coming Saturday, if you find our content interesting, we have a big event this Saturday. It's called SPEAK Forum, Speak Forum, where we will be sharing OT and ST perspectives on cognitive communication. Yeah, so it will be perfect if you are a allied health student, right? And if you're a healthcare worker, or if you're a caregiver, if you're just, anyone who wants to learn more about communication and what we do in clinic and what we do in the hospitals. Yes, so we welcome anyone. Yeah, it's free. Do you have the sign, like how they can sign up?
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's going to be up in 3, 2, 1.
Hold on.
Awesome, you guys did
There we
it.
go. Yeah. So this is the Speak Forum and the link for you to sign up. So I think on our account, we actually have put up the link in our bio. So if you want to sign up for the Speak Forum, you can just click on the link and it will get you to the page to sign up.
Yes.
Join
us.
Yeah, so join us this Saturday. If we will be talking about case studies, and also we'll be going from assessment all the way to intervention. Yeah, so it'll be really useful. Yeah, based on real case studies. Yeah, great. Yeah,
Sure.
Nice. So we're going to talk about today.
So basically today, I think we're just going to continue from where we left off last session. Yeah, the last week we talked about some of the challenges that we face as OTs. We face working with patients or people with aphasia. And I think this week we want to know a little bit more about what about your point of view, what are the challenges that ST has faced working with people with aphasia.
Yeah, and I think we will also add on a few more challenges that we face also, and then just have a discussion there. But before that, do you want to ask the first quiz question?
Oh yeah, I forgot. We're here to give away prizes, right? That's the whole thing. Yes, guys, we're here to just give away prizes. We give. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to show what's up for grabs today?
Okay, so if you joined us last 2 weeks, right? So some of you might have won pouches, right? So we have this really pretty pouch, and last week we gave away mask. Okay, I tell you, because it's episode 3, right? We upped the game. This week we are giving away. The prizes just get bigger and bigger. Ta-da! So it's a tote bag.
It's a tote bag.
Yay! It's very pretty.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, show them again. Show them the design. I think it's really, really nice.
You should stand up, Evelyn.
I'm glam already, okay. But it's really cool. It's big enough to put your laptop. It's big enough for your notes. It's great. Yeah, it's great. So if you want to win the quiz, the prize, if you want to win the prize, just respond to in comments with an answer to the question. Yes.
Right. Okay. So we're gonna just repeat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna ask the first quiz question. This will be 1 out of 3 quiz questions that we have for tonight. So how this works is once we ask the question, type out, the first person to type out the correct answer in the comment will win it. But if you have participated in the previous 2 weeks of quiz and have won something, we will be picking a new person who has yet
so
to win.
We'll say just pop in your answers, but if you want before we give other people a chance now, okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can have that answer.
Yeah.
We're very generous.
Okay. All right. So first quiz question. Okay. What is hold on. What is the name of our upcoming event?
Fastest fingers
Fastest
first.
fingers.
So we just talked about our upcoming event, right? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Fastest fingers. Ooh,
Oh,
okay.
we've got an answer.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome.
We've got an answer. So we've got an answer from S. Rahul. He's got the correct answer. The Speak Forum that will be happening this Saturday at 4 p.m. So if you want to join us, do sign up. Link is in bio. So S. Rahul, we will contact you via
and also say
DM.
hi to you.
Yeah. Hi, Africa.
And I
Thanks
just
for
said something
joining
very
us.
funny. Oh, thanks for the answers. Somebody said that can use this tote bag to go market. Of course, you can go market, you can go school, anywhere.
So sorry, making art and tea. Why don't we have 2 more questions? So stay tuned. Yeah, don't worry. 2 more chances.
Okay,
Yes.
so maybe we move on to the meat of today's session. We'll start off with talking about some challenges that STs may face when working with PWAs.
Yeah. So you know, last week I think I didn't get a chance to share some of the challenges. So some of you may think like, oh, you know, STs, because you are like, I heard this term is very funny. We are the aphasia whisperers. They call us the aphasia whisperers and say, oh, because you are the aphasia whisperers, so you have no problems working with patients with communication impairment, not through actually there are a lot of limitations and challenges, but I'm going to name some of my pet peeves. And one of them would be the lack of actually local stimuli. When it comes to, you know, we talked a lot about, we want outcome measures, right? So we always do a baseline measure. The baseline measure will be using a lot of tests, right? So if, I'm sure some of you have heard of tests like the CAT, you know, PALPA, and last week we talked about MOCA and all that, right? So the problem with all these assessments and all these tests is that they're not produced locally. A lot of you know, pictures that are used, they are not relevant. They're not relevant to our local context. And I think especially if you're working with perhaps, you know, like the older clients, the older patients, some of these pictures are really not appropriate. I mean, honestly, when I think about so I always try to put myself in the shoes of if I'm testing my parents, and if my parents have problem maybe saying cereal in English, then how do you expect, you know, them to really answer that? So I mean, that's one of my pet peeves when it comes to doing communication assessments and intervention. How about you guys? Anything of this sort? Do you also have a challenge?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of assessment tools that's available out there. But one said it's not very relevant to our population. I think it's also not culturally relevant, because I think certain items just doesn't make sense. It's not something that we do here. For example, cooking oats. You know, some of the assessment requires someone to cook oats, but does our parents even eat oats? If you talk about Quaker oats or the instant oats, yes. But if it's those kind of raw oats, I don't think most of them do eat those kind of raw oats now. So I think,
like what raw oats? And porridge,
time to put the denture, we got time to eat.
It's like porridge in Singapore is like congee, right? But porridge overseas would eat, right? Like the sweet kind of porridge.
Yes.
So what we do, right? What we do is we end up using a lot of like non-standardized or like informal assessments. We end up using a lot of informal assessments. And we use tools that are so for me, like when it comes to you know, like using picture cards and whatnot, I create a lot of my own resources, but of course it's time consuming, right? And and for intervention, what I end up doing is I actually use whatever games that might be out there. So sometimes in teaching, for example, numbers, right, I might end up just using poker cards, right? Things that are available. Or if you're familiar with the game Taboo, we use Taboo also to use it as a therapy tool where we teach them like a circumlocution kind of strategy, a talk around strategy. So we do all of that. So games that you can just buy from anywhere, right? Like Toys R Us or Kinokuniya. OT has a lot of games. You'll just go to the toy shop and buy games, I know.
Actually, no, you're wrong. We go to Daiso, cheaper. And there's so much things in Daiso. We love.
That you can like modify.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite places to shop.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things I do would be also sometimes you hear like patients saying, I can't afford like therapy books, or I don't know where to buy therapy books. The thing is about finding something that is pitched to the right level. So assessment is very important, and always scaffold the task so that it is relevant and not too difficult or too easy for the person you're working with. You could totally just use assessment books. And I really mean like just, primary school, secondary school assessment book. It is absolutely fine. Just be sure it's not too kiddie. But it's actually okay. You just have to find the right level, right? So there's a question from one of our members of the audience, Brian Loki. Do you all share resources amongst each other? Within our organization, yes lah. But then I think across organizations, a bit difficult. I mean, I don't know. I mean, for me, I feel like there should be a lot more sharing, but I know sometimes there's like, PDPA and all those stuff. But yeah, informally we share. Informally we do. Yeah, good question.
Or even like all these accounts that we have, like where we share information and resources.
Right, yeah. Guys, follow innovative OTs, okay? A lot of content.
Yes. Yeah, and I do agree about sharing resources. I think it benefits the patient most of the time. I think that's what we want to achieve at the end of the day, that what we do, it's for the patient, it helps them. So I mean, if anyone has any resources, or if anyone needs any resources, or would like to, feel free to just drop us a text or slide into our DMs or slide into our Aphasia DMs, and I think we are more than happy to share anything. Yeah.
Totally. I think last week we talked a bit about apps lah. So there are a lot of apps out there. Of course, there are the ones that are dedicated to therapy, like evidence-based and all that. But you could always be creative and just find apps that can help. It's all about achieving that goal, right? And whatever the goal is, increasing global output or whatever. It doesn't have to be. Don't really have to spend a lot of money lah. My point is, I think our point was saying, be creative. Don't spend too much money. Try to find the inexpensive way. So go shopping also, go Daiso to shop. I think we're like plugging for Daiso. What the heck?
I know, right? So just to check, so what other tools or what other games that you have been using when you work with your patients, other than you mentioned Taboo, you mentioned poker cards, anything else that you really love using?
I use a lot of word games. So I actually create like my own set of alphabet, and so Scrabble is too high level, but then we can come up with our own like basically like word spelling game or whatever. So it's just about, I think, creating like a simple set of resource and just using them for different purpose. Don't need to buy anything fancy. Don't need to buy Scrabble. But the whole idea is you want to get them to maybe say spell or fill in the blanks, and you could just make cards, right? Yeah. But I mean, I personally love like Taboo, and because that day, last weekend we did a public outreach event, and one of the members with aphasia actually shared that she said she didn't know, and the hospital didn't leave her with any resources, but she said she found Taboo and found it very useful for herself. And I said, oh my goodness, that's what I use in therapy. She's like, oh, so I was actually using something like therapy on myself. I didn't even know that, right? Yeah. So interesting. Yeah.
I just have one question. So like when you say you use games like Taboo and stuff, right? Like what do you do? Like, maybe you want to give an example of how you use it with a person with aphasia?
It's of course not for everyone, but it could be somebody who is milder, and they could have word finding difficulty. And the game of Taboo, right, is useful because they have to talk around. So they have to think on their feet and talk around certain words that are taboo to derive at whatever they are describing. So it becomes a really good way for them to. It's like divergent naming almost. Finding different words. So for example, they are trying to describe Gardens by the Bay. but then they cannot say Singapore, they cannot say gardens by the bay, obviously, and there are many other, like probably 5 taboo words, right? So it's a way for them to think around all these words, and it's gamified. So I think what's really fun is it's a game. It's a game.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah.
That's so
But
cool.
I'm not just saying that this is the only good game, but you know, the whole idea is lots of games.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And I think it's really like it's up to one's creativity to kind of just twist and change and make it into a new thing.
Yeah,
You know?
makes me reminisce about like my group therapy sessions with the older people, where you know we take one game and like change it and modify it to like you know create. And you get like
the other
so
one I
much
like
more.
to play is heads up. There's one game where you know you put
Yes,
up
such a great thing.
headbands. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I use that a lot also, but I create my own. Yeah. Hey, a warm welcome to everyone who just joined. Welcome to SOT-SOT Talk. Let me see, I have the sign. Welcome to SOT-SOT Talk, where OTs and STs talk about clinical challenges and strategies that we use with our patients who have aphasia. Yeah, welcome everyone. We're about to give out prizes, right?
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna flash this again. So those who just joined us, we're having a speak forum this coming Saturday. We're gonna share more about our experiences, perspectives, and our challenges and what we do with a case study right from the start all the way to the end, from assessment to intervention to everything. So you can check out this link. Go to Innovative OT's account. The website is up, so you can just click and just to sign up. It's free. Okay, and before we move on, it's time for the second question.
Yes, and you stand to win this, a really pretty tote bag that's very useful. We can put the laptop in and notes and whatnot. Okay, shoot the questions.
So for those who just joined us, to win this pretty tote bag, all you have to do is answer the question that I am going to ask soon. The first person to answer with the correct answer will be winning that tote bag. Alright, so the second question, okay, so we just spoke about like some challenges and things that we do, things that STs, as in games that STs use with PWAs during sessions. So what is one game that STs might use during therapy sessions with PWAs?
Fastest fingers, guys, come on.
Quick. Enter your answer, then we can find out. Then you get to win the tote bag. Come on.
What were the games that we talked about? Oh,
yes.
very fast.
Machu, you're right. And answer is taboo.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's just one example of a game that we might use in therapy.
Okay.
Great. Wow, very good.
So, thanks guys. Like the answers are coming in. But the winner is Mac Chu. We will be contacting you via DM. Okay.
Don't worry, we have one.
We have
one more question. One more time.
Awesome. Very good. Yeah, very attentive guys. Okay, so other than so last week we also talked a bit about OT challenges, but you mentioned there's actually a lot more that we didn't get to talk last week. Can you share what are some OT challenges or some OT stands for occupational therapists? If you don't know what we're talking about.
Okay, so just a recap, like last week we actually highlighted like some of the challenges that we highlighted was two of the challenges that we highlighted were these that we talked about. So one was goal setting, one was identifying if the patient has underlying cognitive impairment, or like rather how you differentiate whether it's a cognitive issue or it's a phasic issue. So moving, and then we had Evelyn share with us some strategies that we could use to enhance, use during our practice to enhance it. So this week we've got 2 more challenges. Okay, so the first one is working with caregivers, and the second one is establishing routine. All right. So
I think we can talk about the fourth one first, working with caregivers, because I think it's a very common challenges that even both OTs and STs would face as well. I think even our other colleagues like the PTs will have faced. So a lot of times I think when we see patients with aphasia and how they progress, doing therapy or doing caregiver training or even just a phone call update, it's quite hard to explain to them what are the challenges the person is going through. We kind of have to also adjust their expectations and things like that. So I think that is very challenging because sometimes they always ask you, by 3 months, do you think the person can be, can have proper speech again, that kind of thing, even for like functional tasks as well. So I think it's something that I think we really find it quite difficult.
Or I think even at a very basic level, like, like for example, if you're working with a person with aphasia and, we are giving them certain instructions on how they can engage in ADLs and things like that, and if the caregiver is there. So, and if it's a CGT session, then you are going to try and also kind of address the issue of how you communicate these instructions to also get them involved in doing the particular ADL and things like that. And sometimes you do see caregivers getting frustrated. They're like, it's so easy, why they don't understand, that kind of. So that, that expectation management.
Absolutely. I think maybe I'll just talk a little bit about this point first. So last week we spoke briefly about strategies, and you guys, you were saying, like what strategies you use, and we talked about like having good non-verbals, gestures, and using writing, keywords, and all that, right? So those are the techniques that we use. But today I'm going to share a little bit about the broader principles behind it. So I think one of the reasons why there's so much frustration when it comes to communicating with someone with aphasia, right? Especially, we see it like between loved ones and even therapists with the person with aphasia. I think I'm gonna talk about this approach that we share a lot at Aphasia SG, which is the supported conversation for adults with aphasia. First and foremost, I think the underlying principle is that we must treat the person with aphasia as a competent individual, right? It is really important to remember that. So we must remember that the language has been impaired, or the language is impaired, language is impaired because the part of the brain that controls language is injured. But it doesn't mean that this person has no ability to make sound decisions. It doesn't mean that this person is unable to think for himself or herself. And I think with that as an underlying principle, right, if we convey that to the caregivers, then they will, really be able to acknowledge the competence of the person who has this condition. It's important because what we see is the caregiver, right, suddenly the power dynamics shift. And they become superior. For some reason, sometimes it's because they take on, of course they take on the caregiving role, but also they forget that this person is able to make decisions, and they override.
That's very true. I think we see a lot of it in goal setting as well. Sometimes the goals is what the family want, not what the client wants. Just because they cannot express themselves. So, when in supported conversation for adults with aphasia, we just call it SCA approach, SCA for short. There's two main principles, okay? The underlying principle is the person with aphasia is competent, right? It's just that the competence has been masked. So whatever techniques that we use, we're trying to help this person reveal their competence. So one, we have to acknowledge their competence. So we have to make them feel that, hey, you respect me, right? You know that I am competent. And secondly, you must use whatever techniques available to you to help them reveal their competence, right? So those are the things that we talked about last week. We say structuring, like keywording, and then drawing even. So those are things that we use to help them reveal their competence. But before that, you must make them feel like they are respected as individuals, that you actually know that they are competent. To that point, I just cannot stress enough. Do you find it challenging educating caregivers about the condition?
It is challenging, and sometimes I think when we work with the person, right, and I don't know whether there are caregivers who are watching this right now. When we are working with the person, I know it's easy for us to say as clinicians because we are working this 1 hour, 2 hours, where you are facing them 24/7. It is very stressful and it is very challenging. But we teach simple things because truly, if we want to go through, the training can be very, very long. But we try to understand the challenges of the caregivers and then come up with solutions teach, right? So we teach the fundamental principles and then we try to come up with solutions. Yeah.
I think we've got quite an interesting question from Bryna. He was asking, how do you then balance the viewpoints of caregivers and patients?
For me, right, I don't know about other clinicians. For me, I like to invite caregivers to join my session, and to actually let them watch what I do with the patient, so that they know and they can use these techniques at home. What use is it if, let's say, the patient can communicate in my session, or so-called like speak in my session, or express themselves in my session, but they are not able to do it at home. I have heard there was once we had a family conference. So family conference is when the patient, then the family members, and then the therapist, we all will have a conference just to align goals and all that. And in this one session, I remembered my patient, the wife couldn't make it, so she met us over Zoom. And the patient, and I asked the patient, I said, can you just tell us what is your point of view, right? And of course, we support the conversation a bit. And then the wife said, wow, he never ever talked so much at home. Right? He never ever talks this much at home, right? And yeah, I think the home environment, the family support is so important. I'm not saying that the wife is not good, but if the family members, they remember that the person is able to express their thoughts, but maybe not in words, but in other ways, then they will find ways to let this person make choices, right? If I am unable to speak because I can't speak your language, I can still express my wishes by pointing at what I want, right? But if they're not even given the object to point at, or they're not even given the choice, then how are they going to express themselves?
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. And I think that's very important for us to remember as well. That, I mean, sometimes we need to give them the option. Yeah, and I think talking to both parties, even sitting them down together, being the bridge to let them communicate to each other so that we can set the right goals is also very important as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, I hope that helped answer some of the. There was a second point you all made, right? Yeah. There was a second challenge that you all said.
There was, but I think we are a bit tight with time.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Do you want to do it?
I mean, it will be something that we address during the speak forum.
Yes. Okay. So yes, in the interest of time, we may not have time to go in depth about the second challenge, which is establishing routines, but we will talk more in depth at the Speak Forum. So join us this Saturday. speakforum.ptix.com. Yes. Yeah. Sign up. It's free. It's like a free tutorial case study discussion for students, for healthcare workers, for caregivers.
That's how we're going to share our resources among each other.
Yeah. The link is in bio in our innovative account. So you can just click and it leads you to the page to sign up for free. Yeah.
And before we end this session, I think there's one last question that we're going to ask. For those who've been sticking around for the past half an hour, you get to win a tote bag.
Yay!
Right? Very nice tote bag.
Designed by one of our volunteer STs.
Yeah, you can go there for grocery shopping, put laptop, put notebook, you can put whatever you want inside. It's very
use
handy,
it
very
for
sturdy.
work bag. Yeah. All right. So
ready.
okay. So are you guys ready? So the first person, the rule will be that when the question is asked, the first person to reply in the comment section with the correct answer will win. All right. Okay. So we will be giving the chance to win the tote bag to somebody new who has not participated in who has not won anything yet in the past 3 sessions. But we welcome everyone to answer.
Of course, yes.
Okay, so the third question is, what was the challenge that we highlighted in today's session, that we talked about in today's session?
Do a quick giveaway answer.
What was the challenge faced by OTs, as mentioned in the last part of our discussion, right?
Okay.
Fastest fingers.
Come on. Those who wanted to win the tote bag earlier on and you kind of missed the chance. Now is your chance.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got an answer
Yay.
here. Okay, dear Della, she said working with caregivers.
Working.
Which is
Oh,
correct.
that's not
Yeah.
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 Oh,
We've got a few
Shafika
more
and
coming in. Thank
Muriel
you,
also, yeah.
Christina, C. Moriel, and Shafika.
Shafika.
And also Making Art and Tea. You guys got the answer, but then because dear Della typed it out first, she's gonna be the one
The
winning
fastest
it.
time.
Yeah. All right. So okay. So dear Della, we will reach out to you via DM to get more information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how time passed so fast. What time is it now? I think it's about 9 o'clock. Yes.
It's
It's
9
9
o'clock actually.
Yeah, like time
Yeah.
flies so fast. So thanks everyone. Thanks
This
everyone for
is
joining us.
yeah, so this is actually the final episode of our SOT-SOT talk series lah. We hope it has been helpful. If there's any content that you would like to, discuss more about, or if you have any questions relating to speech therapy, relating to occupational therapy, relating to aphasia, communication disorders, right? Just drop us a message. We will be happy to revisit the SOT-SOT talk series, or we'll revisit like an IG live series if the audience wants it. And we hope to see you this Saturday at the Speak Forum. And we just stay tuned now. We have more activities until the end of the month. Importantly, follow us on our social media, okay?
I think that's how the updates are coming from, And really thank you guys for being with us on this journey for the past 3 sessions. I think it's been quite a wonderful and enlightening session for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we will see you all soon. And this Saturday, and we'll see you all on social media. Oh yeah, and we have another platform, Clubhouse, so you can join us on Clubhouse too, where we talk about aphasia. You can look us up. Yeah, download Clubhouse and look up Aphasia SG. Cool. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Okay, remember to sign up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.